You wake up every day believing the same thing, that this world is fixed, unchangeable, and governed by hard rules of cause and effect. You drag yourself through routines, through circumstances that feel like they were decided for you long ago. Maybe you felt it, that invisible heaviness, the weight of being trapped inside something you can't quite name. And yet, there's a part of you that whispers, this isn't the whole story. That whisper is not your imagination playing tricks on you. It's your higher consciousness nudging you, telling you that you're not stuck in a physical prison, you're stuck in a perceptual simulation. A simulation woven from beliefs you never questioned, limitations you silently agreed to, and walls that exist only because you accept them as solid. Most people never question the bars of their invisible cage. They assume reality is hard, immovable, and indifferent. But what if it is? What if reality bends to the shape of your imagination, not the other way around? What if the laws of the world are not fixed laws at all, but habits of perception? That's the radical message Neville Goddard left us with, and it's the same message you've always suspected deep down. You are not a victim of circumstances, you are their author. Every time you say, "This is just how things are," you unknowingly reinforce the walls of your cell. Every time you repeat, "I can't, I don't deserve, it's impossible," you lay down another bar in the mental prison you mistake for the real world. Think of it this way. An ant crawling across a sheet of paper knows forward, backward, left, and right. It has no concept of up. It doesn't even occur to it that such a direction exists. That's how most of us live, shuffling around in 3 dimensions, believing this is the full extent of reality. Meanwhile, there's an entire 4th dimension silently holding every possible version of your life, every possible self you could become, every possible outcome you could experience. Health or sickness, wealth or poverty, loneliness or love, all of it already exists right now. You don't create it, you select it. And your imagination is the navigator. When you imagine vividly, you are not daydreaming. You are navigating coordinates. Yet we've been trained to dismiss this, to label imagination as unreal. But let me ask you, where do your memories live? They don't live in the physical brain like a file on a hard drive. They live in a dimension beyond space, beyond time. If your memories exist in a non-physical dimension, why should your future not also exist there, waiting for you to tune into it? Every possibility, every version of you, is already alive in the 4th dimension. The only difference is which one you choose to inhabit. And here is the painful truth. Most of us keep tuning into the same station over and over again. We pick poverty, we pick struggle, we pick heartbreak, not consciously but through habit, through weight. And by weight, I don't mean physical heaviness, I mean psychological mass, those beliefs you drag around like anchors. Money is hard. Love never lasts. Healing takes forever. Each belief adds density to your being, locking you into the same small orbit. The more weight you carry, the harder it becomes to float freely into new dimensions of possibility. That's why children manifest so easily. They don't carry the same weight. They don't know yet that the world is supposed to be difficult. They can imagine flying and actually feel the rush of the wind in their minds. But then comes education, conditioning, reality checks. Slowly, their wings are clipped. Slowly, their gravity increases. By adulthood, they are so heavy with facts and truths that they can't even conceive of flying anymore. The prison is complete, but here's the secret. You can learn to shed that weight. You can learn to move lightly again. And when you do, you realize the prison door was never locked. It was never even real. Let me give you a metaphor. Picture yourself standing inside a cube. The walls are labeled past, future, possible, impossible, real, and imaginary. You spend your life bouncing between these walls, never realizing they are just projections of thought. But here's the trick. Those walls are transparent. With the right shift in perspective, you can see straight through them. You realize the impossible is just as accessible as the possible. The future is as present as the past. The imaginary is as real as the real. The only reason you thought otherwise is because you accepted the walls as solid. This is where Neville's greatest insight comes in. Time itself is not a line you must travel. It's a surface you can fold. Imagine holding a sheet of paper where each point is a moment in time. In 3 dimensions, you walk from one point to the next. It takes effort, it takes years, it takes struggle. But in the 4th dimension, you fold the sheet and touch any 2 points instantly. You don't wait to become rich, healthy, or loved. You fold time and inhabit the state now. You live from the end, not toward the end. That is the secret of manifestation. You don't sit in poverty imagining wealth someday. You inhabit wealth in consciousness now. You don't dream of healing in the future. You feel health in your body now. You don't hope for love. You embody love. And then, as if by magic, the outer world reorganizes itself to reflect where your consciousness already lives. This is not positive thinking. This is not blind optimism. This is dimensional navigation. And when you practice it, you discover something astonishing. Reality starts bending around you. Coincidences line up. Opportunities appear. Obstacles dissolve. It feels as if life itself is conspiring to confirm the state you've chosen. And in a way, it is, because life is nothing but the shadow cast by your consciousness. But let's go deeper. Every belief you hold about how reality works is like gravity. The stronger the belief, the heavier it pulls you back into the 3-dimensional prison. That's why groups of people reinforce each other's limitations. When millions believe money is scarce, that belief becomes a gravitational field almost impossible to escape. Visionaries, inventors, spiritual leaders, they all had to escape collective gravity to see possibilities others couldn't. They had to step outside the accepted weight of the world. And you can too. How do you begin? Start by questioning every fact that feels like a wall. Instead of saying, "This is impossible," try saying, "This feels impossible from where I'm standing right now." That tiny shift in language loosens the wall. Instead of saying, "The past defines me," remind yourself, "The past is just one coordinate. It doesn't own me." Each time you do this, you lighten your psychological mass. You make yourself buoyant, and slowly you rise. The next step is transparency. Learn to see through the walls. Close your eyes and imagine your past, that trauma, that failure, that regret. In 3-dimensional thinking, it feels like a heavy block behind you, unchangeable. But in the 4th dimension, it's just one point among infinite others. You can fold the sheet of time so that point never touches your present. You don't have to heal it. You don't have to rewrite it. You simply stop giving it power. It exists, but it no longer rules. And then freedom. The chains of history dissolve. The same is true with your future. Most people think of their desires as distant, waiting at the end of a long road. But what if you could skip the road entirely? What if you could live in the desire now? That's what it means to inhabit the end. Feel the keys of the car you want in your hand. Smell the air in the home you long for. Sense the embrace of the love you're calling in. Not someday. Now, that's the fold. That's the leap. And when you do this consistently, your 3-dimensional life bends to catch up. Some people will call this delusion. They'll say, you can't just imagine a new reality and expect it to appear. But let me ask you, have you ever worried about something so vividly that it ended up happening? Have you ever lived in fear so intensely that your body started reacting as if the threat was real? If worry and fear can manifest the undesirable, why wouldn't imagination and faith manifest the desirable? You're already doing it unconsciously. The question is whether you'll do it consciously. Here's the final truth. Each state of consciousness is not just a mood, it's a universe. Depression is one universe, joy another. Poverty is one universe, abundance another. Illness one, health another. Every shift of feeling is a dimensional jump to a parallel world. Most people jump unconsciously, mistaking the ride for a single continuous track. But when you awaken, you realize you're not trapped in a single world at all. You're standing in a cosmic train station with infinite trains, infinite destinations, and you've been holding the ticket the whole time. So how do you escape the simulation? By remembering you were never trapped in the first place. The door was never locked, the bars were never solid, the weight was never real. You simply forgot how to choose, and now you remember. Now you see, you are not a victim, not a prisoner. You are the navigator, the architect, the dreamer who dreams worlds into being. Choose lightly, choose boldly, and above all, choose now.